Hello, viewers. Welcome to another episode on the Little Fellow Sports Podcast. So today we have Shreyas and Aswin on the episode to discuss about the result of the WTC Final. We'll also be talking about what went wrong for India, where the problems exist for the playing 11, whether we're going to see some uh, potential hard calls that are going to be taken ahead of the England series, and what it means on the whole for the team that has performed so well for the past 2 years but failed to win the inaugural World Test Championship. So before we begin the episode, please do like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have tons of sports content coming up, given that we have the Sri Lanka series and the England Test series starting in early August. So, Shreyas, starting off with you, uh, the whole World Test Championship final was a bit of a seesaw affair. The first day was washed out, the fourth day was washed out. India put up a really good, resilient batting performance on the second day, but on the third day, New Zealand bounced back. They were able to curtail India for just 2-7, I guess, and then the resolute batting effort from the openers Devon Conway and Tom Latham on that evening of the third day, that potentially turned out to be the turning point in the game because they were able to score a lot of runs without losing any wickets. So, where do you think India potentially lost the game?
I think they had it till the final day. Of course, I mean, New Zealand got the first innings lead, but still, with Virat Kohli and Cheteshwar Pujara in the crease, you would expect probably India to. I mean, look, to be very honest, I didn't expect any result from the final day. I thought it was a nailed on draw. We'll be able to. India's approach will be to save the game. And let's be honest, it's really tough to win the game from that point. Day six, I mean, you would have to 18 wickets needs to fall to basically to win the test match for you. So I thought India win was out of the equation. Uh, a draw probably I'd say it was around 70%, and around 30% New Zealand win. There was a chance. So I probably thought that the Indian team management would realize this, and they could have stuck patiently and get a draw out of this game. But unfortunately, I personally think we went for the win. We even in the first session we kind of looked to score runs, and of course, New Zealand bowled beautifully, but still, you would expect the top Indian batsman to sustain in the crease and at least, if not make some runs, at least to be in the crease and secure a draw for this team. See, I mean, people say that draw might be an irrelevant result, win only matters, but still, you'll anyway have winners India beside your name. So that will be a huge monkey off the back for Virat Kohli, and I think it would have been okay if India played for a draw, but unfortunately, uh, we were trying to play for the win and it backfired. Yeah.
So, continuing off from where Shreyas left, Ashwin, Shreyas did make this point very clear that India were going for the win, whereas a draw would have been the result that India could have pushed for, with a bit of ease. So, considering these two factors into question, do you think there was a half-hearted approach from India on both counts, going for the draw and going for the win? Do you think we went into the day with a very unclear mind, a very unclear thought process that led to some of the calamitous dismisses that we saw?
Yes, I think the one thing that India misjudged is the wicket. If for the first 4 days, the wicket, I agree, was very testing, but on that final sixth day, it was relatively very easy to bat on. So I don't think like it is possible, even if we had the full day to get 10 New Zealand wickets. It was not a typical day 5 pitch that you usually get in tests. It was pretty flat. I think best batting conditions in the test match. So I think that Indian team should have judged that and just played time. Uh, I didn't think at any time on day 5 they were trying to play the time. If we would have batted at least we could have batted 2 sessions and killed the game then and there. I don't know like how they imagined they could get 10 wickets in this wicket. So I think, yeah, to a point, I agree that they had a half-hearted approach, but I don't see how they could even think of going for a win there. Uh, I do agree that draw in this sort of a final is not that great a result for for anyone. So that the ICC should take care of that, such that draw is not an option. But given going into day five, the beauty of the test match lies in the point that we have something to fight for till the very end, even though you're not in the match. And India clearly had the opportunity to draw the match and share the trophy, but I think they got a bit carried away from their previous results and then played some reckless shots and lost the final there.
Yeah, as you said, Ashwin, definitely the unclearness with regards to the approach that India went into day six was one of the major reasons that we were seeing some reckless shots from the batsman, and the entire middle order collapsed within a period of say one session, and the lead was very slender, and New Zealand went on to chase it with ease. So coming back to the issue of the middle order, one of the major problems that we've been facing of late is the drought for long innings. Um, Cheteshwar Pujara did this a couple of times in Australia. They weren't very long innings, but in the context of the game, he played some innings that were blunting the opposition's attack from one end, and we were able to enforce the issue from the other end. Now, is we've seen another test match where none of the batsmen have failed to accumulate time at the crease and score runs. That has been a major problem. In contrast, if you look at what happened in New Zealand, Kane Williamson did an incredible job. He blunted one end completely, and all his partners at the other end were going for runs. So that was the way New Zealand approached the innings. But whereas if you look at India, we were losing wickets in heaps every now and then. If you look at the opening partnership, we had a good start, but both of them fell in quick succession. Same went on. Same went on with the middle order. Rishabh Pant couldn't get going in the first innings, so India kept losing wickets in heaps whenever they lost it. We had a partnership. Kohli Rahane partnership was good, and then as and when we lost both of them, there was another slide. So Shreyas, do you think the middle order is again finding itself in between scoring runs and accumulating time? Do you think there is a I would say a doubt in the mindset?
Yeah, I mean, look, we can't question the ability of the players, right? They have proven themselves over the years. I mean, clearly we are at the top of the World Test Championship table, and we've clearly been the dominant side, and we've uh, got success in away tours too. So, yeah, I mean, of course, they have some problems with the moving ball, but I think, as you said, the problems lie with the mindset of the players and the game awareness, so to speak, because. I mean, going gung ho for every single session, trying to score runs. I mean, that's not exactly how a test match works, right? So you need to have some patience, and but still, I think Indian batsmen and Indian middle order are getting a bit carried away. Look, Rahane, he has performed all over the years, but still, he, he is kind of reckless. He plays reckless shots for an experienced player like him. So he has played for like 10 years or what for India as a test team, and he's a vice captain too. So sometimes it's just baffling to see how these players make such kind of a mistakes. I think concentration and the game awareness should improve as far as India is concerned, because these are the two things that are key for any knockout game or in a final. So even we saw Virat Kohli saying you need to have a three test match series. How is it possible? You can play for 1 month, right? So uh, like this is what wins you big trophies and big games, right? So having consistency over a period of time, only that is only not the pinnacle for success is what I feel. You need to perform when it's needed. So I think game awareness should improve, Krishna. That is what I thought. This game we could have clearly saved, or even who would have thought? Let's say, if, I mean, getting 10 New Zealand wickets is impossible, but still, if you had played first 20 overs, first 30 overs without a wicket, then you had the possible chance of taking a risk with Rishabh Pant down the order, you can bank on him to score a few runs quickly, and we could have set some 200 or 220 target. And of course, probability still it will be mostly for a draw, but still you could have had a chance, right? Maybe the New Zealanders could have felt the pressure, and you could have taken wickets. There are a lot of options. You just need to have some patience at the start of the day, but yeah, nothing can be done now. I hope it will improve going forward. But we've seen this in multiple finals, right? Even in 2019 final, we've seen some atrocious, not final, sorry, semi-final. We've seen some atrocious reckless shot in the middle of the game where it's not even needed. So that's what my stance is. Of course, there are talks of shuffling the order and personnel. We can try that out. We have ample time till the next World Test Championship final, and but clearly game awareness has to improve, because even though when you change personnel or when you change the tactics now, you should have game awareness in the final to win something, or let's say saving a test match or whatever it is. Basically, you should know where you stand and you should judge the pitch properly, as Ashwin told, and then you have to take the decisions. But still, yeah. But I think the 11 pick in this match was totally all right. We did not have Hardik Pandya, so we needed both Ashwin and Jadeja, and we played according to our strengths. Um I think Kohli didn't use the spinners well. That's what I felt. He could have bowled more whenever Shami or Bumrah was leaking runs. He should have gotten a spinner. But yeah, of course, what's done is done. We should only look forward.
Yeah, as you said, Shreyas, definitely patience was definitely lacking when it comes to the Indian batting lineup on day six. That was pretty much evident. And I guess we decided to give preference to intent rather than not being reckless. So that ended up costing us very dearly on day six. So you did mention about our bowling lineup and the fact that given we didn't have Hardik Pandya, we were forced to make two changes. Kohli did have the option of changing the bowling lineup. I think on day two when the toss was happening, there was a chance that we were still in with a chance to maybe make one change to suit the surface. So Ashwin, given that Jasprit Bumrah almost ended the match, I think he ended the match wicketless. And apart from Shami, maybe Ishant held one end up. Ashwin was really good in the few overs that he bowled throughout the Test match, and Jadeja was barely used. So, do you think the bowling lineup probably let us down a little bit in the first innings?
I actually think like we bowled pretty well in the first innings to get back into the game. It's just our perennial problem of not able to clean up the tail that cost us. At some point, we were looking like when Shami was breathing fire around that when New Zealand were 5 down at 140, and we could have pressed on and got some crucial 30-40 run lead. But we know India, like we struggle to clean up the tail enders. That has been our problem for a very long time. It's just I don't know what the problem is. When the tail enders come, we just lack that killer instinct to just clean up the tail. But I think bowlers cannot be blamed for this match, especially in the first innings. I think they bowled pretty well. To we were in a position where even though like let's say I think the point where we lost the match was after being 146 for 3 in the opening spell of the day 3. We lost a cluster of wickets. I think that's where we lost our advantage. We should have got some 30-40 runs more, and we bowled pretty well. And I think the second innings bowling we can't really look into it because there wasn't just enough runs to defend or enough overs to get the wickets, and the pitch was pretty much easy to bat on then. So I wouldn't blame the bowling, but yeah, it was a bit worrying to see Bumrah, who always looked very threatening for us. He didn't look at all like the one who is going to pick up a wicket. That was one worry. But apart from that, I think Shami and Ishant, even Ashwin in both innings, many thought that he would not have such an impact, any impact with the ball in this game. But he was very impactful, and he got crucial wickets in both innings. So I won't blame the bowling for this match, especially.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair assessment because given that the first innings was pretty much even Stevens, and by the time the second innings happened, the pitch had become very favorable for batting. So maybe it was just a case of our batsmen not playing the situation, in the best possible way, and the fact that it actually repeated for two innings. First innings, as Ashwin mentioned, at 146 for three. Had we held fourth and maybe pressed the initiative later, and if we had probably ended up at around 300, 350, you never know how the test match could have gone with 2.5 days left. And same goes to the second innings. On the morning of day six, had we held fort and maybe played 45 overs, then we could have probably got a decent lead and put New Zealand under pressure. With respect to the mentality and the intent that they would have shown in order to whether they wanted to save the test match or go for the win. So one thing that was very clear from Virat Kohli's press conference was all of a sudden he feels that the team is lacking intent. I'm not sure how that was judged because at the end of the day, being reckless, I am not sure if that equates to lack of intent. But one thing that Virat Kohli hinted was there could be some potential shakeups in our 11, which has actually served us really well for the past 2 years, and that has culminated in us being runners-up of the inaugural World Test Championship. So, Shreyas, with respect to the hinted potential shakeups, what do you think could happen to the 11? Let's say we are talking about the near future, the first test of the England series.
Yeah, I disagree with our captain here. So look, as you said, this team, this squad has served very well over the past few years, right? So everyone performed. Even if you see in Australia, Rahane performed one game, Rishabh Pant performed one game, Shubman Gill and Pujara performed one game, Vihari and Ashwin. They provided the rear guard at Sydney. So the thing is not only Australia tours, even Mayank has performed in the home tours and even in New Zealand he got a 50. So the thing is the squad has performed really well and it's not fair to suddenly change 11 because of one test match. I think they should give a chance. I know there are stats that say Pujara has averaged like only 28 if you remove the Australia series out of the equation in this World Test Championship cycle. But still, I think we have to wait on Pujara. He hasn't done that well in England in the previous tours. He got only 100 and yeah, so the thing is, we just have to wait. I don't like to see this 11 changing. We have seen Ishan getting injured, and obviously, in that case, Siraj should come in, and Umesh Yadav will be the backup for the Indian bowlers. And except that, I don't really want or expect any change from this 11 for the England series. Of course, rotation will happen. That I agree. That's not. I don't oppose that. People need rest, and they are in a bubble. It's really tough. But the thing is, we should not overdo it so that the players lose confidence, and they should be given a run of games. Is what my point is. This decision should not be based on one test match. So my 11 would be the same for England first test match, provided everyone is fit. If Ishant is not fit, so obviously Mohammad Siraj comes in.
Yeah, that's fair enough. As you said, in order to build a strong core of players, it is important that you give them ample amount of chances and put the faith in them. And one loss is not going to change anything for the team. So hopefully, the team can bounce back mentally and on the field. Um, Ashwin, there were a couple of discussions as to how the combinations could go. Whether we would end up playing Shardul Thakur instead of one of the two spinners because he provides that pace option and he's a decent number 8 as well. So now do you see us playing the extra batsman or maybe playing Shardul Thakur in order to compensate for the bowling conditions?
I think like we should stick to our five bowlers because we don't have a very good number six to warranty playing that extra batsman. Say in the past we had a guy like Lakshman who could play at six, was a very solid batsman. So if you had such a batsman, I agree that we could play six batsmen. But playing Vihari or Mayank Agarwal at six, just for the sake of playing an extra batsman is not going to work. We are better in that way with playing five bowlers. I initially would stick with the two spinners. Jadeja wasn't that effective with the ball today, but he can be a handful against England, and even with the bat, he's a very good batsman. But Shardul Thakur is definitely an option that we can consider. He's pretty decent with the bat, and in the English conditions, he's also very threatening. But the one thing that I would like Indian team to work on is like the tailenders do a bit of batting. I think I should at least they should be able to defend for a while if that's needed. You can't just say at this point of time in international cricket, I'm a bowler, I'll only bowl, I won't bat. For the sake of the team, some of the bowlers should improve their batting. I hope Indian team is working on that. That will provide us with huge boost in crucial stages of the match. So if you see, we do realize that as soon as the sixth wicket fall, we think about the bowling. We don't really expect any of our bowlers to stick around. I think that should change. So that is one thing I would like this team to improve. But as far as the 11 goes, I don't think we require that much change.
Yeah, Ashwin. As you said, Shardul Thakur definitely will be in consideration, given that we would be playing on wickets that could assist swing and seam bowling. And as you mentioned, definitely the team management will start looking at the average contributions that are made by the last three wickets, because even if the last three wickets can make 30 to 40 runs on bowling friendly conditions, you never know, that could end up being the match deciding factor. And I think the responsibility must also be shouldered by the lower middle order batsmen, especially Jadeja and Rishabh Pant. I think if one of them is available at the crease when our 8, our 9, 10, 11 are coming, it is necessary that they farm the strike as much as possible and keep communicating with whoever's at the other end, so that they know what is expected out of them and they're able to play it well. I think that is an issue. I think the lower middle order batsmen are not able to farm the strike and communicate as expected with the tailenders. And maybe if we can show improvements on both counts, I think we'll slowly start seeing better contributions from wickets 9, 10, and 11. So with that, it's a wrap on the episode. Big thanks to Ashwin and Shreyas for taking time out being a part of the podcast today. Stay tuned. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We have lots of content coming up for the Sri Lanka series and England series starting in August. So until then, stay tuned.